Well, this is almost the same team that won the AL a couple of years ago. I mean, there's a couple, differences in the roster, but a lot of that core is still there. Plus you add Michael Brantley, Edwin Encarnacion, people like that.
It should be better, really, because like you said, they didn't have Brantley during that playoff run. They didn't. They didn't. Yeah, I was going to say, or Encarnacion either, and he's kind of replacing Napoli. So it should be a better lineup. And if they go get Adam Jones, I mean, that's a really good team. And Jones might not be the player he used to be, but still provides them with very good defense and a lot of stability and experience. So that would be a huge get for them.
He'd be great in the playoffs for them, too. He hates Boston. He hates New York.
Yeah.
He would love to play not even play spoiler, but flat out beat one of the AL East teams in the playoffs.
Right.
He was Denard's fan while Denard's fan was being Denard's fan. Let's be real here. They're basically the same person. They hate Boston equally.
That's true.
I was just looking at Jose Ramirez. I thought he was older than he was, but he's only 25.
Yeah.
Just like Lindor.
Also, though, what I discovered was he's not a free agent until possibly 2024. So his window is much longer than Lindor's at this point. So I mean, the fact that he is controllable for that many more years. Let's see, 5 years beyond this one. Yeah.
Yeah, 2022. He's got a club option then.
Cheap as hell too.
In there,
I'm pretty sure he was a throw-in for one of their trades a couple of years ago. He was just the guy that that you kind of throw in just to finish the deal up, and now he's this.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the best, third baseman in the league.
Oh wait a minute. Okay, well that trade would have been back as far as 2013 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's never played at the major league level for anyone else. But who knew Mookie was going to pan out? I had never really heard of Mookie before 2014, and he was in Double-A when Bradley was just sputtering and bouncing back and forth. That they sent coaching staff from Boston to Portland to convert him from second base to center field, and then he comes up and he's good, and he was pretty good in 2015 and just an absolute monster after that. But who saw that coming?
Yeah, no, it works crazy like that. But and you know what? Props to Cleveland because they did see it coming because he is signed until 2023.
Right.
So they saw this coming because the most he's going to make is $13 million.
Right.
And he's 25. He's signed until he's 30. Like, good on Cleveland. Cleveland has done a great job with, they are like the Moneyball team on steroids. They don't have the payroll restrictions that Oakland did in the past and still does. And they don't pinch pennies that bad, but they still pinch pennies, and they still are not a $215 million club when it comes to the payroll. And some of these deals are just so good with, their guy, Jan Gomes, I think he makes a little too much, but if he's going to hit 20-plus home runs a year, good on him.
Well, you can't underestimate how well he works with that staff, though, too.
And that, too. He's such a good defensive catcher on top of the fact that he has some pop. But, Corey Kluber won't make more than $16 million. Carrasco, not more than 9.5. Bauer's under arbitration. Salazar is under arbitration. Mike Clevenger has another year of team control before arbitration. They got Brad Hand now, who won't make more than $10 million in 2021. They just do these deals, and they either sign or trade for the guys that are unbelievable. Even Encarnacion, who next year makes $21 million, the year after that it's a $20 million club, so that he might not even be on the team.
Right, and they curiously were willing to trade him 1-for-1 for Bradley, which really surprised me because he's good, and it almost excited me because we didn't know what was going on with Martinez, and I just feel like that seemed like a viable option for us. But
that would have been a perfect Cleveland trade. They would have got a guy in JVJ, and he would have developed and a little bit more, and he would have worked with Francona. He would end up batting .260 with a little pop and winning multiple Gold Gloves out there in Cleveland. Why they give us 35-year-old Edwin Encarnacion for 2 years?
I still would have done the deal. But
Really?
I don't disagree that Francona would have.
Dave's trigger words.
No, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think JBJ is valuable in the team, but I just don't think that would have been a good option for us even in the future, even in the short term, because right now, I don't even know who would be else out there. Like, if we didn't have JBJ.
Yeah, I mean,
one of these days, I'm just going to be like, we should trade JBJ to the Cubs so he can play for Joe Madden, and Dave's just going to explode.
I'm gonna hate when that happens and Theo turns and then he turns to Jason Hayward. He's gonna bat like 285, Gold Glove on.
We might hear just Dave combust over the phone.
You might. I might write a letter.
Getting
strongly worded letter.
Getting back to the middle of the order here, with Devers, if you go back six months ago, I mean, you're kind of hoping he is that middle of the order bat, aren't we?
Yeah, for sure. But he's
on. He is.
Yeah, and he's been on his way up the past month or two before his injury.
Yeah, I mean, he might be sinking like a rock now, though, because, I mean, we don't know. He had an error today, and they're already wondering if the shoulder has got to do with that. I'm more worried about health at this point than I am him, just not performing. I think there's a perfect storm of stuff going on, and the fact that he's not that middle of the order bat, and the fact that we are kind of keeping one eye on Mike Moustakas, I just feel like that's kind of a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, it would stink. I mean, if his arm is not good right now and it's still bothering him, they should put him on DL again. There's no reason to pull up Pedroia here or anything like that. He's 21, and even if he takes some time off, Holt can play third base every day. You know what I mean? Until the playoffs, and then have Ralphie come back. Or even trade for Moustakas or another third baseman, out there. It's not as high-profile name, I guess. But if he is healthy, I am not worried about him being the sixth batter, that bottom half of the middle of the lineup. Because this year he has done it. After an awful start to the year, he's been really good. And, I tweeted out the other day comparing, and I texted you guys about it, Devers to Travis Shaw at the deadline. Now, Travis Shaw is like that
crazy
guy. We love him. We fell in love with him. He's a little bit older. He's like 26. I think that's how old he is. And as of right now, he's batting .241 with 18 home runs and in 323 plate appearances. Devers in 344, so 20 more plate appearances, is batting .241 with 14 home runs. So same exact average, 4 less home runs. RBIs wise, 48 to 55. Not that it matters too much about that stat. The only glaring difference is the OPP. The OPP for Devers 291 versus Shaw's 340, but slugging, Shaw 467 to Devers 422. Again, very close. The whole point of this is saying everyone was calling for Travis Shaw's head at the beginning of the year, saying, why did we trade him? We need him back. Thornburg sucks. He's not real. I said he wasn't real. And Devers isn't good, but Devers is just as good as Travis Shaw, and we have Thornburg, and when he's healthy, he will hit like Travis Shaw is. So I'm okay with him if he gets healthy. If he's not healthy, we need to make a move for something, even if it's just Holt at third, put him on the DL. That can be the move. It doesn't have to be dramatic, trade Chavez and a prospect for Moustakas.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, long term, I'm a big optimist for Devers, but and when you bring up Travis Shaw, we could have had them both, is what I'm getting at. That's your corner. Those are your corner infielders who could just mash, and you take into account that Bogarts is mashing this year. I don't know. That's why it's still painful to me, because we would have had them both, and I feel like we could get Thornburg at the deadline or someone like him.
No, I know what you're saying. I'd rather have Devers, Moreland, and Thornburg than Shaw and Devers.
I don't like it, and
mostly because Devers wasn't probably even going to be called up if Shaw was still at third, because we would have signed Moreland to play first, because why would we move Shaw and move up Devers for no reason? Even though he's doing well, he was brought up because he was doing well and injuries and perfect storm type of thing. If Shaw was doing well and we had Moreland on a cheap deal, I don't think the Red Sox pushed Devers through the organization like they did.
Well, I mean, he definitely. It was weird how he came up because, like, 48 hours before the announcement, they were saying the exact opposite. You know, they're like,
yeah, they're like, yeah, you thought you'd see Chavez before Devers at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I don't know. I mean, who's to say he wasn't called up too fast? I mean, because I really feel like he could easily be a 300 hitter with a 360 OBP and a slugging percentage well over 500, but he's not. He's just not that guy yet. So
no, and at 21 years old, 20 years old, almost 21, you don't expect that. So, and I get that.
We just need him to have some plate discipline. Like there's some times that he's up there, and honestly, Bogey does the same thing, to where they're just uninterested in the at bat.
Yeah, they turn to Harris.
Yeah, or Vlad Guerrero. They think that they can hit anything on the ground.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous. Like, if we can get Devers some plate discipline, he'll see better pitches. That turns into a better average, bigger stats, everything like that. But he can't go 3 pitches at the plate and go sit out.
Yeah, that's his Achilles heel, and I totally agree, Terry, with what you're saying. If he's hurt, like, go get a third baseman, or at least put him on DL and just kind of like fix it in house. Put Lynn over there, put Holt, whatever, but don't push the kid. There's no reason to.
Yeah,
he's 21. Be patient.
Nunez is hitting fairly well, so I mean, if he did go get a Moustakas or whatever, I mean, we could live with him at second if Devers is on the DL or just getting some refinement down in Pawtucket or whatever. Brandon Phillips, actually, I meant to look him up. He is in AAA now, I believe.
Well, let's go.
And but he wasn't hitting that well. But they basically brought him from Lowell right to Pawtucket, which I thought was interesting. You know, at least bring him
to... of a jump.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
At least bring him to Portland. I'm pulling him up right now. Yeah. But that's another guy. I mean, who knows? He might provide some spark, and definitely, solid defense for 37-year-old. Let's see, I got it right here.
He's that type of guy that would definitely bring the locker room a little spark. You know,
exactly. He's 1,000% a clubhouse guy.
Yeah, 100% clubhouse guy. Even Pierce, I'm pretty sure Pierce is from the same place as Shaw. As Sale. So right. I'm sure bonding over that.
Which is in Pawtucket right now, I guess. Let's see, he's up to 192. He was down as far as 167 a few days ago, so he looks like he is trending upwards.
I'm sure he's gonna have a nice 2-week tryout down in Pawtucket.
Right. Yeah. Or at least up till July 31st, anyway.
Yeah, and if he's trending upwards and Devers is struggling physically, you'll easily see, DL and then Phillips is coming up.
Do you worry about injuring his confidence a little bit with Devers? Like if he's not fully injured, do you think that something like that can really kill a kid? I mean,
I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I like his attitude, and I like Cora's relationship with the players. So I think that even though I
feel like with Farrell it would have been a problem.
It could have been a problem. With another player, I think it would have been. I think Raffy, even with Farrell, I just think his attitude is just a kid coming up and joining to play when he can, and he doesn't think he's bigger than what he is. I think he would have been fine. But another player, I don't know who it may be, but maybe
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
Early Bryce Harper.
Even Bryce Harper now, but Farrell would have been a disaster. Speaking of Bryce Harper, I didn't see it. I only saw the aftermath on my fantasy team, but Strasburg and Scherzer got into it in the dugout, I heard. Yep. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, and I guess Scherzer said, let's take this down into the tunnel, and that's what happened, and I don't think anything became of it. I think it was just the veteran pitcher, reading the younger guy the riot act, and I don't think nothing, if you're comparing it to Harper and Papelbon, I mean, it's just way more tame, I would say.
I just didn't know what it was. I literally just saw it pop up on fantasy. You have to give 5 runs in 4 innings. I was like, oh god.
Scherzer, every time we see Scherzer in the dugout when somebody else is pitching after they come out, he's always talking to them. So I'm sure Steven didn't want to talk, and probably escalated from there.
Probably frustrated, and Scherzer was, yeah. And Max Scherzer is the type of guy, most players need to just shut their mouths. They need